Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe. Y'all, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. Excuse me. So we are looking at Tesla, and y'all know I say so often, Tesla just does what Tesla does, right? We closed at 319.11. As you can see, yesterday this 318.85 was an area that I needed to pay very close attention to because price stopped in this area here and here. Well, we have lost that area of support only to come down to this 310 area to find support. Yes, we did come down to the 307.82 here. However, this 310 is the zone that Tesla had been trading in, 310.07 for a while. Looks like we tried to break out of that. So where are the trouble places as of now for Tesla? We're going to use this 312.57 as a support area. Resistance, we could very well say this 315.43 or the 50 EMA, which is at 315.47. So if we should break beyond that or past that area, 315.47, we could possibly have trouble again at this ATR trail and stop at 317.01. And as you can see, we have tried to test this area before only to get rejected, right? So are we going to hit this again and move higher? That's why we wait and trade what we see, right? So trouble places to the upside, breaking this ATR trail and stop 317.01. We could possibly have trouble again, 317.61. In my opinion, there's going to be a lot of resistance in this area for Tesla. So from this 317.61 up to the 318.85 could be, a strong resistance area. Now breaking this area of 318.85, which was a support place for us on yesterday, means we broke through a strong level of support. We could very well come back to 320.04 and possibly have trouble breaking that 321.21. Should we break that? 321.75, 322.25. and again 322.84. So there's a few places here that we could very well get stopped out at with Tesla. Now if we should break that 322 area, where were we? 322.84. Breaking that brings us back to 323.74. And if by chance we break that level, we could very well come back to this level at 324.52 and again here at 325.10. Now, can we continue to the downside? I say in this, anything is possible, right? So Tesla back to the downside, this area here, 312.57, we could very well come back to 311.50, and breaking that brings us back to 310.07, which brings us to this zone here. So should we lose this area of support, we could very well come back to the 308.47, which is really where this candle kind of here touched here. Now breaking that brings us back to 307.04. Should we break that level, 305.54, 304.29, and if we break that 304.29 area, we could very well come back to 304. Let's see here, 302.79. So from the 304.29, 302.79 is the next level I have marked, and then 301.12, breaking that 301.12 to 99.75. So if you are trading Tesla today, anything is possible with Tesla. I say trade carefully, definitely mark your levels, and I say often, y'all, once it goes against your why, get out. Live to trade another day, right? So we are now looking at this SPY. We closed at 603.75. As you can see, we had a nice decline on yesterday. Came down to this low here, 591.82, only to bounce. Well, actually, our gathering spot was here, I would say around the 594.17, and we bounced from there. So as of now, where are the trouble places for the SPY? It seems as if right now this area 598.04, what you can see, we were here 598.04 is a support place for us. We could use the resistance at around 598.61. Should we break that level, we could very well have trouble around 598.98 and breaking that 599.26. Should we break that 599.52, breaking that $600.07. And if we should break that $600.47, breaking that brings us back to around $600.98. Not very far away, right? Breaking that 601.40, and if we break that 601.77, breaking that level 602.07, and if we should break that, it brings us back to around the 602.49, which is kind of like in this zone here. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are possible areas to the upside. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under this 597.36 area, we could very well come back to around 596.71. Again here, 596.45, 596.97. Breaking that brings us back to 595.67. And should we break that, there's a few layers of support around the 595.32, which is here, all the way down to this area, 594.96. Now, should we break this area here, we could very well come back to this, which is around 594.17, and breaking that 593.67. Should we break that 593.30, which is around this area here, breaking that, we could very well come back to around the 593 again here at 592.62, 592.18, and something stopped us at the 591.81. So if you are trading the SPY today, I say trade carefully. And it looks as if the SPY is an inside day candle. I'm going to go to that 1 hour chart. Yes, and it looks like we've already broken through the triggers to that. So SPY was an inside day candle for today. The trigger to the upside, 603.75. If by chance we break that, the upside target 605.08. To the downside, we've already met that downside target. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are possible areas of rejection and support to the upside and to the downside. And I always say, y'all, anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed. Trade carefully. Again, not financial advice. And I needed to point out one more time that I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. We are looking at NVDA. We closed at 145, and as you can see, yesterday there was a gathering spot here only to have this decline. So we found support here at the 141.50, only to come up from there to find another area here at this 141.88, only to move up to find another area here at 142.22. So back to the upside, where are the trouble places for NVIDIA as of right now? It seems like this area 142.90 is our support area. Resistance, we could say, is 143.26. We've tested this area here. Seems like we've gotten rejected there. So continuing to the upside above 143.26, we could possibly have trouble 143.63. Again here at 143.76, not far from that ATR trailing stop at 143.82. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again 144, breaking the 144.17. Should we break that, we can come back to this area somewhere around the 144.45, and breaking that brings us back to around 144.65. Should we break that area, 144.89, and again at 144.02. Now back to the downside for NVIDIA. Let's say we get under all of these moving averages here. We have the 50, the 200, and the 5 EMA right here at the 142.62 area. Breaking that brings us back to the 142.42. Should we break that, 142.22, and breaking that 142.08. Those are possible support places. Should we break that, 141.88 could be a support place because that's where we were here. Should we break that level, 141.64, 141.50, 141.17, and again 140.92. Breaking that brings us back to around 140.68, and if we should break that, 140.42 could be a support place for NVIDIA, which brings us back to this area here. So if you are trading NVIDIA today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, not financial advice. We are now looking at AMD. We closed at 118.50. As you can see, it's been trading in this zone here. We found support at around the 115.20, only to break out of that, found support again here at the 116.32. Our resistance as of now is around the 116.86. Now, should we break this area, we could very well have trouble again at 117.38. If we break that 117.59 and breaking that, you see the ATR trailing stop is here at the 117.74. Breaking that level, we could possibly have trouble 117.89. And should we break that 118.25, 118.66, 119.03, and here at the 119.37, which is not far from the 200 EMA around the 119.42. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas to the upside. Again, not financial advice. Back to the downside, losing the support level here of 116.32. We can come back and find support around 115.59, which was here. If we should break that level, we can come back to 115.39, breaking that 115.20, not far away, but something did stop us in this area. It could be support again, right? So continuing to the downside, under 115.20, 114.83, 114.61, 114.28, and again 113.83. Should we break that level, 113.56? And breaking that brings us back to around 113.01. So if you are trading AMD today, I would say trade carefully today, y'all. In this market, anything is possible. We do have a few inside day candles, Devon Energy being one of those, and it has already broken through the trigger and exceeded the target. So the target to the up, the breakthrough was 34.36. The target to the upside was 34.74. We have made a pre-market high of $38. Now to the downside, under 33.64, we had a downside target of 33.41. So Devon Energy is an inside day candle. Looks like we are filling a gap that we had. So yeah, Devon is interesting. So let's look at, we did have another, QQQ was also an inside day candle today. And again, too, we have broken through the downside for that. The trigger to the downside was here at 530.77, which gave us a downside target here of 530.05. It looks like we're trying to get back up, break back to the upside. We've made a pre-market low of 522.70. Now, should we break above 534.67, we could possibly reach this target at 537.02. What's interesting, and I'm going to try to see if I can mark that with the QQQ, is, it has found support here at, let's see, I'm going to try to mark that. Yes. So I would say, right now it's getting rejected out at this 50 EMA. Support is around the 526.70. Now breaking that, we can come back to the ATR trail and stop and have trouble again around the 529. So if QQQ is something that you trade, I would say trade carefully. Now losing this support of 526.70, we again can come back to 525.64. Breaking that level brings us back again to around this level, because price was gathered here around the 523.94. Breaking that brings us back to this level here of 523. So I wanted to point that out. QQQ is an inside day candle. So if that is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully. We are now looking at Meta. We close at 693.36, and y'all see the gathering spot here. Price has been gathering in this area. Support is around, or was around, this area of 679.85. We can say resistance is around 683.96. So actually it's been trading in this zone from here, the 679.85 area up to the 683.96. So where are the trouble places back to the upside? If we should break this area, we could possibly have trouble 685.28. We can use this 50 EMA 685.67, 685.67. Breaking that brings us back to the ATR trail and stop at 686.94. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again here at 688.16. It was a support place for us. It will now be our resistance area for Meta. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble 690.80, and y'all can see it's kind of right there where that 200 EMA at the 690.67, not far away. So I would definitely watch that area. That's if Meta is something that If Meta is something that you trade, definitely watch this area here around the 690.67. Again, not financial advice. Breaking this level, 690.234. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble 694.21 and again 695.25. Now, if by chance back to the downside, let's say we get back under the 681.46 and this 679.85 area here, should we break that, we could very well come back to, well, something stopped us here somewhere around the 679.04. Should we break that, 677.96. If we should break that area, 676.60, and again here at 675.90. If we break the 675.90, we could very well find support around 673.45 and again here at 671.64. So if Meta is something that you trade today, y'all know I say trade carefully. In this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Now, this is what I see when I look at the market, y'all, and I say it so often. There's so many different ways to make money in this market. What's challenging is trying to figure out a way that works best for you and to have that discipline to execute the plan. And I always say get in at the right time and out at the right time, and having the discipline to do so. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.